Hi everybody, this is Courtney with Fiber Fox Studios, and today what I'm going to show you real briefly in this clip is this piece right here is the 12-month size Kimono Cardigan, and it is pinned out so I can stretch it. I'm going to insert a picture into this video, if I can figure out how to do that anyway, that will show what it looked like prior to me going ahead and pinning it out. So as you can see, all along the edges, I've just laid this front panel right on top and stretched it over. And the way that it's lining up, you can barely even tell that it's there, but I've got those little yellow pins there to show you. So what I've got is my iron, and I do not do a direct press on these, but I do a steam iron on them in order to get it to kind of set it up. This is an acrylic, and I just kind of hover that iron and do the blasts of steam, just like so, and have it steam. So that is how I go about doing that. And I'm going to do that for about 15 minutes on this piece. I just like to go over it several times and make sure I've really got it nice and steamed. I never touch the iron to the project. I'm just hovering just above. And I don't know if you can hear the steam, but it is steaming, and it's hard to show it on camera. But that is how I go ahead and do that. So when you're finished with your piece, you're going to go ahead and block it, and then we're going to show you in the next part of this video on how to do the different border options. I'm going to give you several just like I normally do, but I just wanted to show everybody this is how I go about doing that part of it. And we'll be back in just a moment. Here is this mini version of the cardigan prior to pinning it out. I wanted to show you guys in these pictures that I used a 12 by 12 inch pillow just to give you an idea of the size of this thing and how much it does change the size. Keep your edges nice and fan-like. They will look so beautiful when you add on your edging. Okay, and we are back, and what we're going to be doing right here is we're going to start removing the pins, and I'm going to try to do this in a way that you can see how it doesn't shrink back up very much when you do this. It just moves just a little. Not a huge difference in shrinkage or retracting. And that's all you have to do. I will go ahead and pull the rest of these pins out, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how it looks when it's just laying there after it's been seam blocked. Okay, so we've got this piece, all the pins out, and as you can see, it did shrink up just a little bit or retract back in just a little bit, but overall it has stayed just like we wanted it, nice and open. So the good news about this is if you make any size and then you need to increase the size at a later date, you could start off not blocking this piece and then change your mind later. Even after the edging and all is on and it's sewn up, you could just go ahead and block it then. So as far as the children's sizes go, that is kind of a good feature to this, because you can start off unblocked, and then as your child grows, you could block it and you could change the size as they grow. So just wanted to show you guys that. We're going to go ahead and move on to our edging. Okay, so this is one of the kimono cardigans that's finished up, and this is one of the smaller sizes, but this is all going to be the same whether you're making one of the adult sizes or one of the kids sizes. So I'm going to show you real briefly how to sew up the sides here, but I did want to show you the finished piece, and I wanted to show you this particular edging that I've come up with. This edging right here, I'm going to do this tutorial for that, and I'm going to link below a couple other tutorials that I already have for edging border designs for the kimono cardigan and for the scarf. The Pom Pom Border right here, I've already done this twice, 2 different tutorials that I'll go ahead and link below for you, because you can add this piece or this to any piece. And then of course the Peacoat edging that I've done right here around the sleeve, that I've also already done a tutorial on, so I'm going to go ahead and link those for you guys. But I am going to show you how to do this particular, it is a peacoat, but it's kind of more like of a princess style Peacoat that I am going to show you how to add to your kimono cardigan if that's what you choose to do. I've also, in the same tutorials that I'm going to link below, I've got tassels, like a twisted fringe is what it's called. I've got that and a few other options that you can add to your kimono. In this particular piece, what you're going to be doing for the kid sizes is you're going to be sewing up the sides right here, and you're leaving for the smallest, and all this information will be below, but for the smallest sizes, the 12 month to 18 month, you're going to leave a 3-inch opening. That's going to be your sleeve, and then you're going to be sewing up right here, leaving a 3-inch slit on the side. So I'm going to show you that on this larger piece right here. This is one of the adult sizes, and to do your markings for your sides, all you're going to have to do is grab a stitch marker or another piece of yarn, and you're going to measure down on the adult sizes. You're going to be doing a 11-inch opening. On the kids, there's anywhere from a 3 to a, I believe, 7-inch opening, but I'll put all that information below for you. So you'll follow the below description area to figure out how much to measure, but you're just going to grab your tape and measure down just like so. On this adult size, I'm coming down 10 inches, and that's where I'm going to mark. So you're going to mark right there, and then on the adult sizes, you do a 6-inch slit at the bottom. So you're going to mark up at your 6-inch slit, and then you're just going to sew together right here in the center. So we're going to do that real quickly. I'm going to pause the video and bring the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. So you're just going to go ahead and add your yarn, same yarn that you've been using, to your needle, and then you are going to make sure that you've got both pieces where you can see what you're sewing through, and you're just going to grab just a little bit on the edge, and you're going to pull your yarn through, and you're going to do that all the way down in between those 2 stitch markers that you've placed so that you sew up the sides. Once you've done this, you'll begin putting on your border or edging. And you can choose from the option that I'm going to show in this video or one of the others that I have linked below, or a combination of any of them will work as well. It's kind of more of your personal choice and personal style. And if you're making this as a gift, I do recommend that you kind of look at what type of style you're trying to convey to the person that you're doing this for. Some people are going to love the Pom Pom Border, some people are going to prefer the tassels, and some are just going to want a very simple peacoat or the princess style peacoat that I'm going to show in this tutorial. So it's really up to you and what you like best, or what you think the person that you're making this for is going to like best. So you're just going to keep on making sure that you're sewing both sections together. So you want to make sure you can kind of separate it a little bit and make sure that you're getting both pieces so that you're sewing it together and you'll have a nice clean edge. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video. You can continue sewing on down. You're going to do that on both sides for your front panel and back panel to seam them up together so that you form the actual cardigan shape, and then you'll come back and we will work on the edging. And just a quick little tip trick. On the kimono cardigan that was done in the shawl and the ball, I'll show you exactly how you want to work into this. But the main thing you want to focus on is have your single crochets where you're joining, if you're doing the Pom Pom Border, have them just hit right here in your chain 3 spaces and then in your chain 5 spaces here along the bottom edge. That is the best way to handle that. You just kind of want to space them out. You're going to do anywhere from 4 to 6 chains depending on how long you want these to fall down, and if you keep it nice and even, just hitting in those chain 3s or into the chain 5s, you're going to do both, you will not have any issue with the way that they will drape and hang. They'll turn out really, really nicely. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the princess style peacoat border. So I've got a sample piece here that I'm going to use just so that you'll be able to see the stitches that I'm making. But you want to grab your yarn, same yarn that you've been using, or if you're going to do a contrasting border, you're going to grab that and get a slip knot going. And I like to just do my slip knot just like that and grab it to join it on. So what you're going to do, we're going to pretend in this case, since this is just a sample piece, we're going to pretend that we're going to work on the inside edge just like we have here on this piece. This is the inside edge around the collar area, the opening of the cardigan. The way that I've done this, and I'll put my hand back here so you can see, the way that I've done this is I started with a chain 4 and I made little chain 4 loops, and then I went back and did single crochets in this peacoat right here in the center. So that's how we formed this particular border that I'm going to show you in this tutorial. So we're going to pretend that we are working on the inside edge in this case. So we're going to grab the piece, and you are going to grab your yarn and insert your hook. If you're looking at your finished piece, this would be your inside edge right here. You're going to come down here where you met the corner and you did your chain 1 and then a double crochet. So you're going to come in right there at that area, and you are going to slip on your yarn. So I've already got my hook in place, and I'm going to slip on my yarn and I'm going to pull it through, and then you're going to do a chain to lock it in place. Go ahead and let your tail drop to the back, and you can go ahead and insert your hook right back into that same exact space, and you can do a single crochet by pulling up a loop and then pulling through the 2. And now you're going to begin making a chain 4. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to come over, and if you look at your piece, the way that you work these borders on any of the cardigans, on the kimono cardigans, is you work in the spaces that you see. So you're going to look right here. You don't want to stretch this over where it's starting to pull your cardigan together. You want to kind of just work with your piece. So I'm going to go right here. This is actually the double crochet on the side. I'm just going to come right here into that space and do a single crochet. Just like that. Now you're going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to move over here. Now you're in this next space that's right here along the side, and you're going to do a single crochet. So you're going to continue to do the chain 4 single crochet all the way up around on the side. So you don't want to stretch them too far, and you just go ahead and finish that up. Go all the way around the collar and the inside edge of your cardigan in this case, and meet back up with me when you've met the end on the other side, and we'll show you how to go ahead and place the peacoat part of this border. And for me, I'm just going to do a couple more so I can show you guys a few times over exactly what to do. And we're going to work on this together really briefly. I'm going to do one more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to come back down into this space right here. So I'm keeping a nice loose. It's not stretching too far. You want it to look just like that. Alright, so now this is how you're going to go ahead and begin. So in your case, you're going to be over on your other side, back down here at the corner. And you're just simply going to do a chain 1 and turn your work. And now you want to begin with your single crochets. So you can slip over here into this space, pulling up a loop, and you can do a single crochet. And then you're going to do a single crochet. So you got 2 of those working directly into that chain 4 loop. And now you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to come down here, and you are going to insert your hook into this little stitch or string that's here in the front, just like we're doing any other peacoat, only you're going to go ahead and slip it back into this chain 4 loop just like that. And you're going to bring that hook around and grab the yarn, pulling up a loop, and you can just kind of push this down out of your way, and you're going to have 4 loops on your hook, and you're going to grab your yarn and pull through all 4 loops. And now you're going to do a single crochet and a single crochet, and that finishes out that little princess peacoat, just like that. So now to move on to your next space, all you're going to do all the way down is go ahead and do your single crochets without chaining anything. So you're going to move over here to this next chain 4 loop, and you're going to pull up a loop, and you're going to do a single crochet. That counts as your first one. You're going to do a second, and then you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to come back, and you are going to find these 2 stitches that are or strings. I'm not really sure what to call them, but you're going to go into this front of that single crochet just like that, and you're not going to grab your loop yet. You're going to go right down here into the chain 4 space, and that is where you're going to come up and you're going to grab your loop and you're going to pull it up so that you have 4 loops on your hook, and then you're going to grab your yarn and pull through all 4 loops. And now you're going to do 2 single crochets into that same chain 4 space. Here's my first one, here's my second one, and you finished out another Princess Peacoat. So we're going to go ahead and do this again together. We're going to go ahead and move over here into this chain 4 space. We're going to grab our yarn just like that, and we're going to pull up a loop, and we are going to pull through 2 to do a single crochet. So that's our first single crochet. We need a second single crochet right here, and now we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to come right here, these 2 little bumps here in the front, that's where we're going under. We're going to go right under both of those just like that, and we're going to insert our hook back down here into the chain 4 space. So we're going right back in there. We're going to grab and pull up a loop. Now we're going to use our finger to move this down, and you can kind of hold it in place out of your way. And you're going to grab your yarn and go through all 4 of those loops on your hook. And now we're going to do 2 single crochets right here into the same chain 4 space. So here's my first one, and here's my second. And if you look, you've got, of course, this is going to be in the smaller yarn, in your size 1 or size 2 yarn, so they're quite a bit more dainty looking. And just to kind of show you what that does look like working it, I'm going to go ahead and move over here to my piece that I was working. This is the adult size, and I'm going to show you how we go about adding these beautiful little chain 4s and working into them. So I've got my chain 4 set up right here on the side, and like I said, it's quite a bit daintier looking when you're doing that with the size 1 yarn. And I'm going to go ahead and get ready. I'm going to remove my stitch marker. I'm just going to show you a couple of these really briefly. So I've got my hook right here, and in this case we've gone all the way around on the inside edge, and I'm just going to go ahead and turn my work just like this. And I'm going to just go ahead and do my first single crochet right here into that loop. I'm just going to pull up a loop and pull through 2, doing a single crochet. Now I'm going to do another single crochet just like that. I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then if you're working in a size 1 yarn, it's not quite as easy to see these, but they are there. You're going to go into those 2 little loops. You're going to not get twisted up. You're going to go back into your chain 4 right here just like that. You're going to grab a loop and pull it up, and you're going to have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to grab your yarn and pull through all 4 loops, and then you're going to finish that out by doing 2 single crochets right into the same exact chain 4 space. 1 and 2. And that is what that looks like when you're working it in the size 1. So we're going to do that one more time together, maybe 2. I'm going to go ahead and move over to my next chain 4 loop and do a single crochet. I'm going to do another single crochet. Now I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to go back down, get my yarn untwisted. It's hard when you got multiple projects going. I'm going to go back down into these 2 little chains right here, just like that. And I'm going to go into my chain 4 space. I'm going to grab my yarn and pull up a loop. So I've got 4 loops on my hook. Grab my yarn again and go through all 4 loops. I'm going to finish it out by doing 2 more single crochets right here into the same exact chain 4 space, and it begins to look just like that. So we're going to do it one more time together. I'm moving over to the next chain 4 loop and doing a single crochet. I'm going to do another single crochet. Now I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to come down here and find those 2 little strands like posts in the very front of my stitch, just like that. Sometimes they're a little bit fiddly to get into. Now I'm going to go back here into this chain 4 loop. So I'm just moving my hook backwards, and I'm grabbing and pulling up a loop, 4 loops on my hook. I'm going to grab my yarn and pull through all 4 loops. Now I'm going to do 2 more single crochets. There's 1, and here is 2. And that completes that out. So if you take a look at it, it is going to look very, very pretty lining your piece. You can do this all the way around. You can even do it on the bottom. I would just suggest, if you are doing the last row of the back panel in the bottom row of your front panels, if you're going to switch it out and not do the pom-pom border down there, the only thing I would say change about this is, instead of doing a chain 4 loop, I would do a chain 5 or chain 6 loop, and then I would add 1 to 2 single crochets. So the difference would be, I've got chain 4, and this essentially is like 5 stitches in here. So if I was doing a chain 5, I would increase to an extra stitch in there. If I was doing a chain 6, then I would do 3 single crochets, this chain 4 peacoat, and then 3 more single crochets. So that's how I would adjust for that. So if you are wanting to increase and make these be a little bit more pronounced on the bottom, you would just up your stitches. Instead of doing 2 single crochets, you would do 3 single crochets. If you increase it anything beyond that, you're just going to keep adding single crochets so that you have an odd number of stitches down here. Or if you have an even number of stitches, you're ending up with an odd number here. So I had chain 4, and this counts, if you were to count this out, it would count like a chain, like I'd done 5 stitches into that chain 4. So hopefully that makes sense. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment below.